taking you out tonight. Don't you wanna go with me? Be the town and ride with me. Hot shot, you're so fly. Rocking up designer jeans and that swag when you talk to me. Ready or not, here I come. Never late when the night is young.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of In Her Purpose Show, a platform where we feature female game changers who have paved the way on succeeding their goals and continue to inspire at the same time. I'm your host, Mafe Yunam Velasco, and this show is very close to my heart because I am able to learn and grow with two amazing, beautiful women who are the founders and also authors of In Her Purpose book and company. So honored to introduce you today. We only have Rose Boado, but we do wish Jen, a safe trip. She is currently, in action to go and meet with Rose. So we are praying for your safety. But I do want to introduce Jen still. And Jen is a game changer herself, working in the tech world and serving as a mentor for Collective Hustle and FASTA, Filipino American in Silicon Valley Tech. And of course, the beautiful Rose Boado, who I'm always so inspired by because she is a mother of two, businesswoman, mentor to young women entrepreneurs, inspirational speaker, and manager of the Philharmonic. Hi, Rose.
Hi, Mafe. How are you?
Good. So it's you and I today, and I'm so excited to meet our special guest. This woman is so amazing because she is a radio and voiceover talent, best known for her time on air for radio stations across California. Despite her hectic schedule, she continuously finds ways to do what makes her happy, serving as an inspiration to women all over the world to find their voice and to use it. So without further ado, let's welcome our beautiful guest, Freska Griarte.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Hi, Freska. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm really excited to be a part of the show. I'm just very honored. So thank you for having me.
Good.
Of course.
Anytime. Yes. Yeah. So, Freska, please introduce yourself to our community and audience. Who is
Okay.
Freska?
Sure. My name is Freska Griarte. I was born Francis Griarte. My friends call me Freska. I'll tell you how that came about later. But yeah, so I've been in radio for about, I think, 27 years now.
Wow.
Started in San Francisco and then moved out into Hawaii, did Hawaii radio for about 3 years, came back and then back to San Francisco, did morning radio in Sacramento, back to San Francisco, and I've been here ever since. And then I just started venturing out doing voiceover work. So I'm the voice of I do some imaging stations in several markets in the country and building that. So I guess that's it in a nutshell. And I'm a mom first. So, yeah.
Very cool.
I can hear it. And it's so soothing.
I know, right? How did you get into radio? So let's start with so you're a mom. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a radio host, which is great because that's two things that we hardly see in this world because a lot of the radio stations that I listen to are all males, right? They're all it's male dominated industry, I'm assuming.
Yes, in the beginning it really was. Yes. And I entered into radio as a DJ. Like I really wanted to go and mix on the air and I wanted to like produce and make beats. And like I had a little studio in my house and, I think I was like 19 when I got into radio. And I was able to slowly get into other departments. And it was hard because my parents, traditional Filipino parents, I'm the first American born on both my mother and father's side. So it was like, what? You're going to do music? No. What are you thinking? We're engineers, we have engineers and we have doctors and, all that stuff. And you're going to do music. So it was really rough. And I tried to I think, cater to what it was that they wanted me to do. And it was just excruciating. And it was just hard. But then my sister convinced them, like, this is what makes her happy, so we should support her because she's going to be miserable being an accountant. Which is one of the other things. Well, you should do something with your money. What are you doing? Because they were like, what? My parents were like, are you on drugs? And I'm like, why are you asking this? And they said, because you have a job, but you have no money. What are you doing with your money? And I'm like, every paycheck, I'd be buying new records. I'd be at the record store. I'm buying equipment. And they were just kind of like, they, of course, they're like, save your money. And you always have to get the latest song, to mixes and like do stuff. And they were like, what is my child doing? And it was a rough road, many tears, a lot of thinking that I couldn't do it. And that was also because my parents just didn't, of course, your parents always want the best for you, but they didn't understand that world. And it's rough. You have to have really thick skin. And luckily I've been in it this long. And to be able to do it in the fourth largest market in the country has been, I don't take that for granted at all.
Yeah. Yeah. What do your parents say now?
Well, my father passed, but he was really excited because he was like, wow, my daughter's on the radio. So now it was like, oh, okay. Now I can tell my friends my daughter's on the radio, listen to her. And then, I don't think he was really proud until he heard my voice on the radio. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're not that bad, And same with my mom. My mom, I think my mom was more of the, okay, well, follow your dreams. And then when it happened, she was really excited. They were really excited. Yeah. They knew it was really rough though, because for a long time, it wasn't like I could make money. It was rough. It was rough. You do it because you love it, not for the money. That's for sure.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no.
There you are.
Anyway, for the young ones that don't know,
what was it?
This is how it was. For the young ones that don't know what these machines are, go ahead, Freska. Tell them.
So that is that is a really old radio board. And in order to use it, so now you can just press a button and you just move the fader, this way, right? Up and down. That way you had to click it with your thumb, move the volume button. And so you had to do it like, just the timing of it all, right? You're clicking, you're turning, and then you're doing it over here with your other hand and clicking. Yeah. But that was how radio was back in the day, guys. Yeah. So that was that picture was, I think, taken in 1996, I think. 96 or 97. Yeah. Yeah. But it was fun. It was really fun. I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about just life, being out there without any family. I put my life in 2 bags and left. And I said, I'm going to make a name for myself no matter what. And I mean, it was top ramen, spam, rice for 3 years.
I know that experience, and it's just so amazing to know that other women have like-minded journeys, right? And now we for sure can see, the rewards and the blessings have fallen on your lap. Now you're imparting it to others, and that's what's so amazing. I feel as though, is it your inspiration still the same throughout this whole journey, or is it different?
When people ask me like what inspires you, I think it all just comes back to happiness, really. Some of my radio inspirations was Renelle. Now she's Renelle Brooks. Back then she was Renelle Lewis, and she was on a station called KMEL. They're still around. But it was the way radio made me feel. And so they always made me feel like I was their friend, or that we were all part of the same community. And so I really try and convey that feeling back to whoever's listening. People always say, "Oh, radio's dying," and all this stuff, and it's like, well, what other medium can you get this kind of personal touch? You know, and so I would say that my inspiration is basically happiness. If that even makes sense, I'm not quite sure if I can articulate what it is I'm trying to say, but I would say that to make other people happy, but also my own happiness too, because it matters.
Yes. There you are. I love that. I love your action.
Oh,
And that's the
yes,
thing,
it is.
as radio hosts, or even just knowing who that is, but not putting the face. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like to me, when I always adored radio hosts because it's like, wow, they have so much energy. They have so much feeling. It's like you're playing, you're putting the picture together just through your voice. And
oh,
meeting in person is just like, oh my gosh, that's the person I listen to all the time. What was, I'm sure that there was challenges along the way, right? Like from the start to even continuous throughout your career. What would be the biggest one? What would be the biggest challenge that you experience? Also being an entrepreneur.
money.
Always the money.
It would be like, why are you doing this if you're not making that much money, and I stuck with it. There was a moment. Okay, so challenges, the money. I think, I get asked this question a lot, and to me, I don't really feel that I have experienced the hardship that I think other people have in the industry, in terms of maybe being a woman and, maybe you're not taken as serious. I haven't really experienced that. I've always had some very strong male counterparts that were always believed in me, and I stuck in that realm. And I think that's important, because if you hang out with people that don't believe in you, then your self-esteem suffers, and perhaps your career, if you stick in that toxic situation for a while. There was one time, and I'm not going to say where it was, but I did work for a station where I resigned. I quit. I was like, this is, and I thought to myself, I'm quitting on myself, and but I realized that I was not in a good situation, and I was not going to grow there. And it was just going to be challenging like this the entire time. And I had a choice. You can either stay here and keep doubting yourself because these people just don't want to help you grow, or changing who it is you are. Or you can choose to leave and build something of yourself somewhere else. And that's what I did. So I think it's also recognizing when the situation is at a dead end and you just need to leave.
Yeah.
Leave, and it doesn't mean you're quitting on yourself. It means that you are. For me, I was preserving my mental health first of all, because I hated it there.
Yeah.
I had a really tough time. Now I'm like, I'm friends with everybody that's there still, but the experience I knew that that wasn't a place for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Can we, I'm just going to add this question there. Can we back up to the very beginning? One of the things that we talk about is, as first generation Filipinos, or, just being Asian, we didn't have the guide or the path to go into radio or go into, some creative industry, because we were taught to go towards nursing, engineering, accounting, or any of the stable industries that our parents know about.
Right.
How did you break into radio? Because my dream when I was growing up was to be in radio, but because I didn't have the resources to get there, or I didn't even know where to start, I didn't go that way. But if we can share how you got there, so that everybody who's listening will know what to do now, that would be amazing.
Well, I'm going to try to do this in a nutshell. I used to think I could sing. I could hold a tune. But I don't know what I was thinking that my friends and I were going to be the next TLC. Was not going to happen.
Woo!
At least not with me. It wasn't going to happen with me there. But my parents, I was always interested in music because my parents, like many Asian families, you're either going to play the violin or you're going to play the piano. So I played piano, and I just loved music. And so, I was like going to be in this little group. They ended up forming something really fun. And they had been singing together for probably 20 years. But I was the one in the whole group that was like, oh, I'm going to make beats for us and I'm going to do all this stuff. So then that is kind of like how I got my turntables. I got my, recording equipment. And then I went, there was a time where I thought I was going to be a rapper. Anyways.
Over here.
Okay. That didn't happen. But I went to this music conference, and at that conference they had panels, women in radio. Which I of course sat in on that. I wanted to see just what the industry was like, and then radio and its impact on society, and that's where I met my first boss. And then the whole trajectory of my career changed. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm going to be this artist. I was like, okay, I want to produce music. I want to be on that end. I wanted to do production. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on the microphone. That really wasn't something I was thinking about yet. But once I got into the station, because I eventually got hired by one of the gentlemen that was on that panel, then that's when I started. I said, okay, it was research department. Thank you, Mel Thompson, for hiring me. He was like, well, if you want to do other stuff, like, what else do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to get into the production department. I want to be in there with the equipment and all this other stuff. And, what kind of experience do you have? And I said, oh, well, I have this 4-track. I have a reel-to-reel at home. I have a drum machine. I got a sequencer. I have a sampler keyboard. I play piano. I played, horns. All this other stuff. Like, I had a music background. I was a musician first. And then basically got to intern in all of the other departments and ended up in the program department. And they said, well, do you want to do some of the dedications? Sure. What am I supposed to say? Oh, to Rose from Maffei. Thank you. You're such a great friend, from, so like that.
I remember those. Those are amazing.
Yeah. So Doug Lee was the very first person to put me on the air to do some dedications at night. And, and then I just fell in love with it. So, yeah. Yeah, I racked up $800 or $900 worth of parking tickets out there in San Francisco because I was like, oh my gosh, the show's going to start. Okay, just park here. Luckily, it never got towed. Crazy.
I love that story.
Yeah.
I know I'm supposed to ask your current goals and upcoming projects, but I think I'll leave that to the end because I want to continue this amazing storytelling that Freska's sharing. Go ahead, Rose, because I love the questions that you have.
Yeah. So what are some ways that you unplug and find some balance with yourself?
Oh, I hike a lot. I hike a lot.
Yes.
My boyfriend and I go hiking. And it was not something that I would ever do, to be quite honest. I just started doing that. And just to be able to be out there in nature, I'm not out there on my phone doing stuff. And if I am on my phone, it's because I'm taking photos of just this beautiful scenery and being out there. And you're like, wow, this is amazing. It's very peaceful. I love that. So that's one way that I'm able to just unplug. Plus I'm able to spend some one-on-one time with him. And sometimes my kids come along or our kids come along and, we're able to just talk to each other, and not be on our electronics. So that's one. Also just, I meditate also. And I have my oils.
Nice.
And it's very relaxing. And I'm not sure if people have an opportunity to do that, but when you really spend some time and just listen to your body and your thoughts and how you talk to yourself and visualize, which is so important because if you don't see it, how are you ever going to recognize it when it happens? So, you have to paint that life you want and then walk that path that you have in your mind, and get through any obstacles. That's what I do for sure. Yeah.
I love that. I really need to try that, especially with the whole oils, because then I guess it like touches in all senses of your.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes.
Very
yes.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So this is my next question, which is my favorite question so far.
Okay.
What is your theme song when you walk into a room?
Oh. I ask this to everyone. I ask this to everybody. And I said, hey, if you had a walkout song, every time you walked into a room, what would it be? And because I don't know my own. But I posted, on my Instagram stories, follow me at Freska on the Air on Instagram. I posted a song on there with our photo for tonight, right? And it was Live Your Life. T.I. and Rihanna and all.
Yes.
I would really say that, because I can't think of anything right now. I would say it's that. Just live your life. It's you don't live for anyone else. My parents were like, you're going to do this and that. If I had gone that route, I would be living the life they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, who knows, maybe I would have been happy, but it was, it was really hard. So I would say that song.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Mahe, what would be yours? We still talk about it all the time. We don't know what ours would be either.
And sometimes it changes. Sometimes it changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lately, I have been listening to Dua Lipa. She's got some smooth music, and it's I forgot the title, but it's the one, if you don't want to see me dancing with someone else, don't come out, or something like that.
Oh,
but
it's new one, the kind of new one. Yeah.
Yeah, it translates to like, I am gonna do me. That's the old past life, and if you don't want to see me, living my life, then you don't need to join my circle.
Levitate, right? Levitate.
Yes.
Is it?
That's a newer one. I forgot what it's called. Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, she's so amazing. It's like that. Like, I feel as though I have the oils. Like, it's just, when you kind of connect with a singer or an artist, and through their songs you kind of like see your life kind of go by with it.
It's the journey, right? I love it. Yeah.
You asked me that the other day. Yeah, you asked me that the other day, and I was like, anything Beyonce or J-Lo. But you're sometimes you kind of need to mellow out also.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't start now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't start now.
Don't start now. Thank you, Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been such a great guy to me.
DJ. I don't know it.
Okay, so Freska, what do you believe is your purpose, and what does living in your purpose look like to you?
I think when I found, telling, that's so hard. I think it's sharing my struggles with others so that they can learn or find some inspiration out of it, because and I think I found that after I went through cancer treatment, and I was very open about it. And while it was therapeutic for me, I felt that it was my purpose. Not that, things happen for a reason. And if this was my purpose, this was what God had planned for me, then let's help others that are going through that journey, or that may be going through it at another time. And then it ventured outside of the whole cancer realm into just whatever you were going through in life. So when I talk about it on the radio, I'll talk about, some of the struggles being a single mom, having to take care of a parent with Alzheimer's disease, going through that whole COVID thing with my mom, and having she's in a nursing home, and that kind of thing, the struggles of having been on government assistance at one time, as where some people would be like really private about it, which is fine, it's their choice. But I chose to be very open with it, where it's like, this is sometimes the curveball that life throws at you. So you're either going to smile through it all and get through it, even through the toughest times. Because I'm like, negativity will never win with me. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as you're alive and you're breathing, be happy, be thankful for that, and count your blessings and not the things that you don't have. So that's, I think, what my purpose is. When I live my purpose, it's to inspire others and share my journey along the way. Because I know I'm not the only one, that it's happening to.
I love that. And you have a community that like supports everything about you too. So that's amazing. You should write a book too.
I've actually been asked about that. I'm just wondering how much of my life I want to open up to it. Because I really want to be 100% open.
Yeah.
I just don't know if others will like that.
Yeah. Well, your story and
No. I mean, the people that I would be talking about.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Where it's like, I know you're talking about me in that book, but hey, I'll just change names, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the story that you have, the journey that you shared with us in Her Purpose book is already amazing. So, I mean, it already touches a lot of people and it inspires a lot of women. And we're not just thinking that it is, we know that it is because people actually talk to us about it and people tell us like, oh, in this chapter, really resonated with me. So, oh my gosh. So thank you, Freska, for, being a part of the book and inspire people. That is really, your purpose. So I'm so happy.
Thank you. I mean, when you ladies approached me with the opportunity, I was just floored. I was like, oh my gosh, of course I would be honored to do that. Like, and this show is an extension of that. And I mean, it's just, I love it. I'm just so thankful to be able to share my story and have this platform with you ladies to do it.
So grateful. Yeah. As a leader, Freska, what are 3 pieces of wisdom you can give back to folks who want to be just like you or to follow in your footsteps?
I would say you got to have thick skin. That's one. So, somebody's going to talk about you, whether you do something good or you do something bad, or they have a certain perspective and they're going to voice their opinion, which may not always be in line with who you really are as a person. And they've just formed this perception of who you are. And you just got to keep going. And hopefully they'll be able to break through, or you'll be able to break through to those people, so they can understand really who you are and what you're all about and your purpose, right? So it's having a thick skin. Remaining positive through everything, because what is negativity going to do for you? I get asked all the time, well, how did it feel when you had cancer, and how did you get through it, and how did you do all of these things while you were sick? And and it's like, because I was working, I was taking care of my kids, I was also taking care of my mom, and all going through treatment, and you have to be really resourceful, and I had a really good team to lean on. But it was remaining positive, because what other option is there? I always tell people, what other option is there? How'd you get through it all? Because there's no other way. You have to. And then I would say just really knowing who you are. So when you know who you are, those other things in your life will not derail you. So it's part of the positivity. It's part of having the thick skin and just knowing who you are. Because without knowing who you are, how are you supposed to move through that journey in life? Because you'll be pushed around with people trying to tell you who you are supposed to be. Had I done that, I would maybe not be in radio right now and just living the life my parents would have wanted to. But I knew who I was inside. I knew that was not going to make me happy. Yeah. So I would say those are some 3 key things that people really need to keep in mind when they are going through their journey, I'd say.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Thanks, Freska. And you
Thank
are
you.
obviously inspiring people right now, because on the comments here on Facebook, we have Lucky saying, very well said, negativity won't lead you nowhere. You bring tears to me, literally. Thank you for inspiring me. Times like these really makes us feel down. Thank you again for inspiring and sharing your purpose.
Thank
Aw.
you. Thank
You
you.
love-
Unfortunately, I can't see. I don't have the Facebook app open right now, so I can't see the comments. But thank you.
That's all right. And thank you, Kimmy and Martine, who is also our guest. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, everyone on Kumu. And of course, like I said earlier, I do want to ask you and also invite everyone to what you have upcoming or your current goals that you want to share with everyone.
Ooh, current goals. I would love to do more voice work in, with audiobooks, more radio imaging. Some people might say, well, what is radio imaging? I'm the person in between the songs that'll let you know what station you're listening to. So it's like, I don't know if I want to do it right now, but I'll just do it.
Let's do it.
So, okay. I'm a voice for a station called KBLX in San Francisco. And so I'm the person this is so weird. It's so weird that you're going to see me do it. But, I'm the one that says 102.9 KBLX, stuff like that. So I'm the one in between the songs. So I want to be able to do that in other markets. So right now I'm heard in San Francisco doing that, Detroit and Seattle. I'm hoping to get the Tucson station, and I just got asked to do something for Chicago. So
That's amazing.
yeah, so it's fun. It's really fun, and a lot of people don't know that I'm Filipino. So I've been mistaken for, when they hear me on the air, they think I am everything other than Asian. So when they see me, they're like, "Who is that?" They're like, "Oh, where's Freska at?" And they're like, "That Chinese lady," and I'm like, well, I'm Filipino, but okay.
Don't worry, I get the same thing. Like, who are you?
Okay. Yeah, and so there's that, and then the sorry, my daughter came in here, and then they think I'm Mexican, specifically Mexican. And my mother was a Spanish teacher, so I know how to speak some Spanish. My Spanish is pretty decent. And so, I'd go to these places or these station events and they'd be like, ¿Dónde está Freska? And they're like, oh yeah, she's right over there. And then they're the one, what? Pero ella es China, like she's, and then they're like, okay, but she sounds like she's Mexican, because my kid's dad, when we were together, they really only spoke Spanish in the house. And so my Spanish is more Mexican Spanish. And so I would go to the events, and then they would have like, Latino listeners coming up to me and talking to me. And they're like, oh, you sound Mexican on the air, but you look Chinese, but you're Filipino. And so the whole gamut. So yeah. And then, and some folks thought I was African-American, Caucasian. I mean, everything. And then they see me and they're like, what? Like they don't get it, but
that's good though, because a lot of like marketing people, they want a voice that can sound everything, right? So
yeah, and but when I was on a station called 94.9, artists would come into the studio and stuff, or send us audio of them saying, "Hey, what's going on? You're hanging out with Freska. This is blah blah blah. You're hanging out with Freska," and so there's, they list a paper. And they just go down the list of who they should, so that everybody working on the air will have a drop from them, right? A sound clip of them. And so I was like, oh, okay. So we'll put Freska the Fly Panay on there, because that was like my interlude of a Filipino group gave me that nickname.
I love it.
The Fly Panay. And so there would be artists saying, oh, Freska the Fly Pin Eye. And I'm like, I'm not a pin eye, all right? I'm a pin eye. There's a difference. Like you have a pin in your eye. I'm like, but then you
Wait. Go
yeah,
ahead.
but
Go
then you
ahead.
have artists. Yeah, so then they're like, oh, what's a Pinay? And so now you're educating the masses that one, our people know that there's a Filipina on the air, because if they're really listening, they're like, oh, she's Pinay. It's like, oh, what? And then I also speak Tagalog, but it's not my Tagalog's not the best, but it was the first language I learned. But so it was nice to just let people know or learn of our culture in a very subtle way.
Yes. Oh, I love that. See, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That is
Yeah.
so amazing. I cannot wait until, I mean, you're already big, but I cannot wait until you're like all markets and everybody knows.
Oh my God, that would be the best. Oh.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Jen is actually tuned in. She said that she's been leaving comments on Kumu, but just wanted to say, great show, so funny, entertaining. So Jen, we miss you. And she says, thank you. Thank you, Freska, for always saying yes and for being part of the In Her Purpose fam.
Oh, there, I see. She said, pin eye. Oh, I can see it now. Oh, I can see it. I can see it now. All right.
Yeah.
I see
so did we talk about how you got the name Freska? Already?
Oh no. Okay, so this is what happened. We would be out at night on it's called a Saturday night street party, and it's where we would actually go to different neighborhoods around the Bay Area and whatever, give them bumper stickers or whatever, and like we had CDs and whatever. If you catch the van, let us know, whatever. So we were coming home one night, and I was actually sitting in the back of the van just going, I'm not going to go as DJ Francis. Like, that doesn't sound cool, And then my sister would be like, why don't you be DJ Bomb Bomb? I'm like, no. Not going to use my Filipino nickname as my DJ name. And so I was like, oh, what about Freska? DJ Freska, and so I made it up, and I was like, Freska means fresh, right? And I was like, I'm going to be the dopest hip hop female DJ or, whatever. And because I only would spin underground hip hop and at the time. And so that's how that happened. And so then it just became Freska, which was funny because my parents were like, anong Freska? Sino yan? Sino si Freska? I'm like, that's me. That's me. Sino si Freska? Sino yan? Hello?
Oh my God.
Freska? Bam! Bam! Sino yan si Freska? I think they talk to you. I'm like, man, I sound so uncool. So that's how that happened.
Oh my gosh, I needed this laugh. Thank you, Freska and Rose. This is such a good morning for me, so it's a great start of my day.
Good morning, yes, good morning, Mafe.
So that's how that happened. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So we love it. DJ Freska in the house, guys. And I'm sure everybody has enjoyed this episode. Maybe Rose, you have anything else you want to ask Freska before we say thank you and see you later?
Well, I mean, just thanks so much. I just really hope that people follow their dreams. I think sometimes it can be really rough, maybe going through some really tough times in your life. But if you don't believe in you, then how do you expect other people to really believe in you, right? Like, no one else is going to walk that walk except you. So you got to have your own back first, and you're going to be tested by a lot of challenges in your life, both personal, financial, maybe health-wise, all that stuff. But you got to stick to the path, and that's a path to your own personal excellence and greatness. Like, you have to believe that that's going to happen, because in order for your dreams to happen and to be able to achieve that, you got to believe that it will happen. So always make sure to visualize those in your mind, and then walk that path that you see in your mind to that excellence of where you see your life. And don't ever quit. Yes. Don't ever quit. Don't ever quit, because you can do it.
Yes, amen to that.
Yes, and feel free to always. I'm really good at replying on Instagram. I'm really good on replying there. So if you ever want to, chat or whatever, I'm I always do that, and I leave those little voice notes on there.
Love
So
it.
yeah,
So if you want a greeting, guys, you can go to Freska.
I want a dedication.
yeah. If you want a dedication, like maybe it's your birthday or anniversary or congratulations, graduation,
Oh
bought a
my
new car or a
goodness.
house, you know.
How amazing. But wow, Rose and of course Jen, you're listening and tuned in. Imagine an audiobook by Freska within her
Yes.
I'd love that.
purpose.
I'd love that.
So many possibilities, of course, guys. If you haven't received a copy yet or got a copy yet, do so and read Fresco's chapter. And of course, along with the other women that's in the book, it's so amazing. It's very timely. Like earlier, Lucky was inspired by you. I hope that you can have a copy of In Her Purpose, because I know that there's many more stories that
Oh,
needs to be absorbed, including Fresca's amazing one. And as you can see, she's an amazing woman. Um, that was a
Thank
fun episode.
you. Oh, and Jen said, I want to dedicate this song to my mom, whose birthday is on Sunday. So we should all say, Happy birthday, Tita.
Yes, happy birthday. We love you.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you to Jen. I'm sorry she couldn't be here. Rose, Mafe, thank you, and everyone that's watching. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Freska, for joining us in this episode. I hope everybody enjoyed that, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay.
Rose, amazing. We did it.
Yes, we did.
That was so much fun. I really needed that laugh. Like,
Yeah, she's so amazing. Oh my gosh. Everybody, I really, really encourage you, learn more about Freska. Follow her on her Instagram. And yeah, she's just an amazing person to know and have on your side. So very cool.
Yes, exactly. And I want to congratulate you and Jen for having such an amazing week with the collaboration with Collective Hustle. Touched so many lives. I would really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for allowing me to share my story. Until now, I'm receiving amazing messages from the participants, and happy. It's been such an emotional couple of days, but positive. Yes, positive.
Yes.
Yes, like to everyone who's supporting, again, I just want to repeat, do grab a copy of your In Her Purpose book. I know there's upcoming programs. Maybe Rose, you want to invite everyone to that?
Yeah, we have this really great program that's going to start in the beginning of April. It's called Practice to Purpose. So if you want to find more clarity about what you're supposed to be doing in life, or you want to find clarity on how to actually make it a living, being in passion or being in your purpose, or if you just need the confirmation that what you're doing is what you're doing is right, sign up. It's Practice to Purpose, and it'll happen in the beginning of April. And I can go ahead and leave a link for you later on Facebook and on Kumu, and then you guys can sign up there and find more details.
Yes. Amazing. And if you want to know more about In Her Purpose and everything else that we have in store there in IHP Shop, the website is www.inherpurpose.com, and you are welcome to click, purchase, and just learn. So with that, thank you, everyone. Salamat po. Thank you, Rose and Jen. We love you.
Thank you, Mafe. Thank you, Jen. See you guys later. Bye.
Ready or not, here I come. Never late when the night is young. Always